Okay, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us for this education class on building your personal brand on social media. You should be able to see the screen. It is recording. And this was a requested topic, which I'm super grateful for those who have completed the questionnaires and given me some topics and some things that they would like to hear more on so that I can help support you in this way. So 10 steps to building your personal brand on social media. The biggest thing is that knowing that social media can be beneficial to your business, and sharing the content online allows you to craft a personal image that reflects who you are, right? Even if you only use social media occasionally, you want to keep it consistent. So what you create and share or feed to everybody out there in the public, you want to make sure that you're creating things that reflect who you are and how people will see you. Okay. I am a big advocate of being who you are, very transparent. But for others, that may not work. Others may feel their own insecurities and not want to share that, or they may just want to keep it private. And so they just want a professional front, and that's completely okay. But building a brand and an image on a platform, whether it's social media or a website or YouTube, you should consider keeping it consistent and as professional as you want it to be, right? Because if you do it the right way, which I'm going to give you some tips to do it the right way, it can help you build your sphere of influence, and eventually that will generate leads. Okay. So back in 2017, that was my first full year of real estate. It was our first full year at Bricks, even though I got started in 16. We had I had done some classes the previous year when I was licensed, and that was like the kickoff of like video is everything, right? So I was like, let's do some video. And if I'm completely honest, I look back at some of that stuff and I'm like, oh my gosh, I was kind of corny. But if I look back at that year, and many asked me where my contracts and where my transactions generated from, it was from my sphere of influence. And for me in that year, I had to get the word out to everybody that I was no longer just doing what my previous business was, or I was no longer just being Vicky's, transaction assistant. I was now doing real estate on my own, and I might be new, but I have a voice and I have knowledge and I can share it, right? And I did that. And I immediately realized the benefits from it. And we started implementing that into our practice here with new recruits and mentees and things like that. So if you're new, this is the process that we teach, right? We always encourage you to use social media because even though we may be older, the generations below us are social media and internet savvy, and technology is everything. So it may feel like a chore, but it's very similar to knocking a door. Okay. You just have a different approach. All right. So what you create and share is going to be fed to the public, right? And how you conduct yourself online is very important. Okay. So the biggest thing is I strongly recommend creating a page that is your realtor page. So you have your private family page or your friends and family. This is your profile, right? And you can now stem and have a realtor page. So I have Danielle Griffin, and then I have Danielle Griffin /realtor with my big bricks and mortar logo. So not only do I share all my successful closings and some reviews from my clients on my Danielle Griffin Realtor or my Instagram page, I share some funnies about real estate, and I share, new properties that are on the market that maybe aren't mine, but maybe some of yours. And I think I might be able to find a buyer for. So I'll share, hey, this is a new listing that our office has. I share some behind the scenes. If I'm at an inspection, I'll say, hey, I'm at an inspection. My clients chose not to be here. That could be beneficial because, or my clients are here, and how I'm working through that is it gives them a chance to look around and feel the property out some more, but I'm definitely trying to keep them from distracting the home inspector, whatever it is. Or, hey, this came up during the home inspection, and guys, I'm looking for someone who can pump and inspect a septic because it looks like there might be a leak. Like, whatever it is, it can be there, but I stream it onto my realtor page. And if I really want to get it out there to people who may not have followed my realtor page, I may then share it to my private profile, but only if I feel like it's necessary. Because I think that sometimes people want to follow me as an individual, but they really don't want to know about my business. And that's okay, because there's plenty of people that I will follow their business, but I really don't mind or need to know anything about them personally. So remember, you can create two different images. You can be yourself, you can have all your opinions, you can be crude if you want to on your profile, but keep your business page professional. All right, another big number one, fully update your accounts, the professional accounts and your social media accounts. You need to be checking these accounts probably quarterly, okay? You need to make sure that your headshots are up to date, that they have the correct email if you're adjusting it, that your phone number is correct, that your license is showing, that all of your reviews are populating, all of your listings and sales are populating. And so when I say professional, I mean more like your homes.com accounts. All of these, what are they called? I don't know why I just lost my words. They're not ML, they're, we're the sites that we feed from MLS. I don't know why I've lost my mind and I can't think of what it's called, but you know what I'm talking about. Realtor.com, Zillow.com, homes.com, all these sites that, people go to look, consumer sites. Okay. You should have your professional account set up, right? You should have it. You should have your professional headshot, whatever one. If you've got multiple ones, you can choose to use different headshots, but you want to make sure you look very similar in all the shots. Okay. So branding across the board to keep it consistent. Okay. But make sure that everything is up to date, because it'll help you direct the flow of the traffic. And, whenever someone goes and clicks on it, they'll recognize you, and they'll recognize that it's the same person that was over here offering great information. It's also a great time to go through and reassess what is being shown there, because we have different platforms that will automatically generate things that show up, right? Well, you may not want certain things to be associated with your account or with your account brand and your account image, right? Your professional image. Then you want it to be positive. So like I said, there are probably some corny videos that I've done in my beginning. I don't delete them because that's who I am and that's how I've grown. I want people to see that I've grown. But if I had created a video on something that was super controversial, I may go back and delete that. It'll just depend, but you make that decision for yourself. And if you have a question about that, ask your broker or one of the leaders in our brokerage and see what their opinion is, from an outsider standpoint, but keep your accounts up to date. All right, so identify your area of expertise. This is like, everybody's going to be like, I'm a realtor, I know everything real estate related. That's not true, right? Everybody thinks they're an expert at something, but this is your chance to really show people what you got, right? To show your knowledge. I feel strongly about not always asking for business and showboating all of your transactions, because yes, a lot of sales shows that you can do the job, but sometimes people just want you to offer them something that maybe they'll remember later. And when they remember it, you'll be top of mind at the time, right? So you can experiment with the type of content that you want to share, but you want to keep it kind of streamlined, right? So let's say you're the expert of Denellen, or you're the expert of the Villages, and you're local there, so you know all the community faves. So maybe you want to, like, one day a week, go visit one of those local shops, right? Interview somebody there, or just say, here I am today at this local diner that has been in the community and is, locally owned and operated by a family and da 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 da. And I try to come here as often because they give back to the community or because whatever, right? The people here are genuine. I mean, you could do whatever. And this is what I'm eating today and it's amazing. So give it a shot next time you're in the area, right? Or your area of expertise could be representing buyers. Your area of expertise could be a series of videos or content that you share to help a buyer, right? And yes, you're like, oh, I'm going to help them, but what if they don't choose me? I've helped them into the hands of somebody else. That's okay. That means it wasn't for you. But it shows that you're not needy, but that you're knowledgeable. And I think there's a big difference. Knowledgeable and willing to share and educate somebody goes a lot further than begging for the work. Okay. I'm not saying don't ask for the work because asking and begging are two different things, but just if you offer something to them, one, that kind of content gets circulated more, it's shared more. So if you make a little thing on Canva or something and you put like buyer's tip number 1, make sure you throw a Bricks logo and your headshot on it and your phone number so that when it gets shared, it's not just shared. Or if someone saves the image, I mean, yes, they could crop you out, but for the most part, somebody could share it and it could bring people back to you. Okay. The more unique and engaging your content is, the more it's going to like catch people's attention, right? But that comes from you just being genuine and sharing your knowledge in the way that you want to share it, right? So yes, I'm going to probably suggest a little bit later on that you look at other influencers. And I think that that is a great option for inspiring you or giving you ideas of content to create. But when you create it, be yourself, be who you are and the image that you want to be shown on your platforms, and share it in that way so that it feels comfortable and it feels genuine. Okay. Just like you would have a conversation with anybody, you want it to be genuine. So share the information in a genuine way to who you are. Okay. A lot of people say that the biggest thing they have a hard time with is posting all to the different social media apps. There are platforms and programs for that. The biggest thing I think people struggle with is trying to remember when to post it, like what their password is, and all those things. So we do have KV Core, which is our new CRM, and it does help with some of the posting. So keep that in mind as well. It may post enough that you don't need to schedule anything. And then on occasion you show up with your pretty face or your handsome face and you do something more personal or intimate for the site that's more geared, towards the topic that you want to share that day. Okay. But if you don't like the way KV Core shares things, there are some other sites. Some of them are free up to a certain amount of accounts. I've used Buffer before, but there is Sprout and Hootsuite, which I know Vicki used when I was working underneath her. Basically, they're just a platform and you connect all of your social media programs and you can go to the top and create one post. And then you could say, I want it scheduled for Instagram and it'll look this way with hashtags, and I want it to post at 7 p.m. And I'd like it to post, at lunchtime on Facebook, and I'd like it to go to Twitter at this time, or maybe they all go at the same time. Whatever the case is, you can control it in one platform. So it is great. You can also schedule it, and you can schedule it for like a week or two out and know that you've got content getting shared on those days. Okay, so look into those sites, and if you have any questions about them, let me know. Regularly sharing content. This is a big struggle for me, as I now am doing multiple things other than just selling real estate. But I tell you that the guidelines for all the different sites are constantly changing. But the biggest thing that you will notice is consistency. Everybody will tell you if you're consistently sharing and people are seeing it and your engagement is high, then you will always be able to get good visibility for the content that you're sharing. Okay. So if it means you share a post in your story, and then the next day you put it on like your actual profile so it stays, or you share a video, or you upload some, like I said, beware of this content, or buyer tip this, or seller's tips, whatever it is. Try and do a couple a week at the least. And maybe try and do them like 1 week you do it Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The next week you do it Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, whatever the case, but try and be pretty consistent. I think also it's a good thing to maybe stick to the certain platforms that you want to manage. Like, I'm not a LinkedIn person. I don't love it. It just seems very, I don't know. It's just not for me, but a lot of people do it. And it's a great way to share with people directly that could feed business to you. I kind of feel like it's going to a networking event where like all the lenders are in one group and all the realtors are over here. They're not commingling at all. And that's not really what I want. I want to commingle with all the different professions because I can help them, they can help me. So LinkedIn isn't for me, but definitely consider it. So I only do Facebook and Instagram. I do YouTube sometimes if I have a great video that I want to share. Create that guideline of where you want, what platforms you want to be on, and then post to them on those special days, right? And just make it a system, okay? Just like you wake up and check your email every day, and you probably go on to social media for like a little bit, whatever your process is, you drink coffee every day, it's systematic, right? Create a system. There is a quote I added in here underneath the second bullet point, and he's an entrepreneur coach, Michael Noyce, and he says, a once weekly Twitter post or monthly Instagram photo isn't going to accomplish much, if anything, but it's best to focus on 2 or 3 chosen carefully social networks and be as active on them as possible rather than posting sporadically, right? So if you're posting just because you want to share, that's fine. If you're not using these platforms to generate any type of business, well, shame on you if you're not. But if that's what you've chosen, then just don't post at all, because it's not for the purpose of trying to generate work, because it's not going to really do you much good. The consistency of posting regularly and content that is consistent on your page with what you normally share is going to be what gets people to follow you and share your content. There are going to be days that you don't actually post, and that's okay. Knowing like you can go into the metrics, the insights of the different platforms. I'll tell you that Meta through Facebook is one of the other automatic posting platforms, and it's part of Facebook. And I have my Instagram and my Facebook attached, all my business things. And Meta will tell you what time I see the most activity on my pages from past posts, and it'll recommend a time for me. So knowing that and using those tools will be good, even though I'm thinking, like, I want somebody to see this first thing in the morning, but Meta's telling me that most of my followers are only looking at like 6 o'clock in the evening. Okay, fine. I'll post it at 5. So it's there for them to see. I do what it says because it's the one that's, mapping the activity. So I need to trust it, right? If you're finding like a trouble, having a hard time trying to figure out like what's popular or what kind of content to share, search social media hashtags, look at other influencers to get ideas, call me, I can give you a list, work with your mentor, they can give you a list, we can work together on creating some ideas, okay? Import your contacts. This is huge, guys. I know everybody's like, as soon as they create their Instagram account, they're like, no, I don't want everybody, because there might be some people that I don't want to see my profile. Well, when it's professional and it's work related, you want everybody, especially in real estate, to see your profile. I guess maybe if there's this client that was like extremely difficult, I have one, then I might exclude him. But you never know. What if he's not the one that reaches out to me, but he sends his cousin who wants to buy a $500,000 house? Then I want him to see it, right? So import your contacts. Every platform has an opportunity. You can import them from your email or from your Outlook, where all your contacts are, even Google contacts, or even your phone. Like if you open the app on your phone, it'll give you an opportunity to allow for a free import of like so many of your contacts. And it'll actually scan them and tell you that when you do that, like Instagram will say, hey, one of your contacts just created an account. Do you want to follow them? Yes, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Thank you. And when I follow them, they see that I followed them, and then they usually follow me back. And then we've got flow, right? So import your contacts. If you need help, let me know. Keep social posts positive and engaging. So I am not the best at this, but it's highly recommended. I'm super sarcastic. So if I see like this real estate meme that's hilarious, I'm going to post it. But as I said, what my image is on my pages is me. I'm transparent. So people who know me know what to expect when they meet me in person, as well as what they're seeing online. Okay. They're going to see me joke about sarcastic things or whatever. That's just my image, right? So I don't mind. But if that's not how you're going to be in person, then maybe don't share that kind of stuff, because they might think that they can have that kind of casual vibe with you, and that might not make you feel comfortable. So just choose what you're posting. I highly recommend a variety of things, but keep it positive. Think of the type of interactions and contents that are like a resume of your work, right? So if you're volunteering somewhere, great, share it. If you have made a donation even to a certain platform, share why that platform is so special to you. You don't have to necessarily share like how much you donated, but it's try and think of like a fresh approach, right? Don't be afraid to boast about the things that you achieve. You got an award for being like a top producer. That's awesome. Let's share about it, right? But does it have to be like in people's face all the time? I'm not going to love that. But yes, I want to see that you are producing, you know, a great amount of activity in your real estate career, and that you're a top producer. Absolutely. Social media is really about individuals. So the more you can take your professional platform and make it personalized to you and who you are, the better. And you're going to connect with the people that want to see that. Okay. Let's see. If you have concerns about not being able to voice your opinions. Okay. So this is positive and engaging, right? So I highly recommend that you keep faith-based discussions, if they're going to be controversial or political discussions, off of your professional platforms. Okay. It doesn't mean that you can't have those discussions. It doesn't mean that you can't have an opinion, but go to your personal profile for that. Okay. Because I wouldn't have that type of conversation with my buyer or seller in person, because I would feel uncomfortable about offending someone, and I would feel worried about how I'm going to react if they offend me. So I'm just going to keep it off the you know, conversation table, right? So keep it off of your pages. You don't have to be someone you're not. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying keep it separate. I mean, that's even like a rule kind of in my family. Like, we don't have controversial discussions if we can avoid it, right? You're looking to build accounts, connections. So when you have the opportunity to engage with other people's posts, you should do so. Do so from your professional platform. Make sure you're, you know, commenting as Danielle Griffin Realtor, and then go and like see that plumber that you used and share like, hey, it was great. He was prompt and efficient, and I recommend them, right? Engage with other platform, other accounts too. That's huge. You want them to do that for you, so you have to do it in return. Okay. Let's see. Join groups. Join groups. Instagram doesn't offer that, but Facebook does. I believe LinkedIn does. Like I said, it's not my favorite, but Vicki might be able to share a little bit more about that one, or anybody else who's on it. You go up to the search bar on Facebook, and you could search like I'm a part of everybody knows I just moved here, right? So I'm a part of like new to Lakeland women. There's like Lakeland women who mean business, which is a business platform for women entrepreneurs, right? I'm on a homeschooling site, which I can't really promote my business, but you never know who you're going to connect with So do a search for things that are interesting to you. Groups about like motivational speakers, and join the groups. And then, there's also like Ocala Real Estate, Lakeland Real Estate, join all those groups, see what's going on, because buyers and sellers join those groups too. Check the rules of the groups. They may have some things that tell you that you can't post certain, whatever. So like the one for women entrepreneurs on Mondays, they let you post about your business, and you could share a link, you can share a video, you can share whatever you want on Monday, and you get one post, right? Well, take advantage of it. Once you're a member of the groups, don't be afraid to jump in and have discussions, because people recognize your name, but keep it positive and engaging and not controversial, right? Because that's what social media is about, being social. So don't be afraid to have the conversations in the groups that you're in and from your business pages. Keep your brand voice, image, and tone consistent. I've used that word many times. I can't say it enough. Consistency, right? Whatever you decide it is that you're sharing, just do it. If you're going to be fully transparent like I am, just do it. But keep it consistent. Don't go from like, oh, I'm super transparent to now I'm only business. Do you know what I'm saying? So if you're going to do that, then go back and edit out some of the content that you have shown to others in the past and start fresh, which is fine. That's completely fine. There are going to be people out there that tell you branding is something that you can't start over. That's not true. People do it all the time. Businesses get bought and their names get changed, and now all of a sudden it looks completely different, but it's the same menu and the same location, and people come, right? So if you've decided to do something different, that's okay, but try to keep everything that you're sharing consistent, and again, positive, right? Here's the part where it says, go connect with influencers. Watch what they're doing, see how they're sharing, mimic it, practice it, and make it your own, and then put it on your platforms, right? Let's see, top influencer marketing tool is video. So people just want to see you. Some people want to see you making a fool of yourself. Some people want to see you sharing content. Some people want to share or see like just depth of knowledge. They're on there looking. I mean, there's plenty of times that I'm on there looking for a specific information, and I'm going to the hashtags, and I'm now looking at all these people, and I'm clicking on their sites, and they're getting follows from me, and I've never seen them before, but because they were sharing about a topic that was interesting to me at the time, now I'm following them, and now I'm engaging with them, and now, their information is now getting shared to all of my people, right? So if people connect with you on your platforms, make sure you respond to them. Just had a conversation with Megan about this. In my particular realtor contact pages, I want to be contacted by almost anybody, and I kind of like to just ignore the ones that are not there for the right reasons. So an example is that my Instagram account has been receiving a lot of new follows because I've been, upping my post and stuff like that. And some of them are just guys with like no great purpose. They don't want to know anything about real estate. They just see a female face, right? And they're always like sometimes 3 days in a row. Hey, how's your day going? What are you up to? That's not what I'm there for. If someone messages me and was like, it's great to follow you, I love the content you're sharing, good job, keep it up, I'm like, thank you so much, thanks for following me, tell me a little bit about yourself, and I might engage, right? But Megan suggests that actually those people that are not serving a purpose should get blocked, and I actually agree with her, even though I had some difference of opinions at first, because you're sharing content about locations that you go to, and if they're there without a purpose, you don't want them following you and knowing where you are and knowing the ins and outs of your business. So kind of keep that in mind too. Social media can be a dangerous place. So if you're posting about a location, maybe your story is 30 minutes after you left, or maybe your reel is about that location a day later when you're not actually there. those are just some things that have been told to me in the past that I'm gonna share with you guys. All right. Build your brand by watching social media and marketing videos. I feel like this is a big, big thing. Go watch YouTube, right? If you can't figure out how to create your realtor page on Facebook, go to YouTube. If you can't figure out how to create a reel, go to YouTube. If you can't figure out how to use Canva, go to YouTube. There are tons of videos to help you understand how to do these things. Of course, I'm here, and of course, your mentors and your ASMs are there to support you, but that's tedious stuff that you could be doing from your couch. Watch a video, right? Put the video up at 5 o'clock in the morning when you're drinking your coffee, and your Facebook page is on the side, and follow the steps that the video is saying. You don't actually have to have someone, teach it to you in person. Use it in the, little caveats of time that you have yourself. And you'll probably learn it better too, because you're doing it yourself. Any kind of strategy. I mean, we watch YouTube on how to train a dog. I mean, you can use YouTube for anything like that. So understanding the ins and out of social media, really truly understanding what a profile is versus a business page versus a group versus a chat group. Understanding that is really big, because it can get confusing. But again, go to YouTube, or just call me. I mean, I don't mind helping, but with some practice, you'll be able to learn how to do that as well. Do we have any questions before I move on? I don't really have any more content to share, but I'd like to answer any questions.